The Ghost Ship, Part 3. The situation on the bridge is growing more dire by the second. With the doors sealed shut and the temperature continuing to drop, the away team knows they need to act fast. Riker's eyes dart around the bridge, taking in the flickering consoles and shifting shadows. He makes a quick decision. "Data," Riker orders. "Try to access the emergency beacon. We need to send a distress signal to the Enterprise and get out of here." Data nods, moving swiftly to the communications console. His hands fly over the controls as he bypasses damaged systems and initiates a manual override. The whispering seems to grow louder, more aggressive, as if whatever presence haunts the Ravenwood is aware of their intent. The mist thickens, curling around their legs like tendrils, and the lights flicker more violently. "I am attempting to access the emergency beacon now," Data announces, his voice calm despite the tension. "The controls are partially damaged, but I believe I can—" Suddenly the console sparks, and a wave of energy surges through the room. Data's body jolts as he absorbs the shock, but he remains steady, his synthetic systems compensating for the disruption. Attempting again, he states, undeterred. Moments later, a loud tone fills the bridge, a beacon activation sound. "The emergency beacon is online," Data confirms. "Sending a distress signal to the USS Enterprise now." The view screen flickers, and the static clears momentarily, showing the distant form of the Enterprise. A moment later, Picard's voice comes through, though it's distorted and filled with static. "Away team, this is Captain Picard. We've received your distress call. What is your status?" "Captain," Riker responds, "we're trapped on the bridge of the Ravenwood. Something is very wrong here. The ship seems to be haunted by some kind of entity or effect from a spatial rift. We need immediate beam-out." There is a brief pause, and then the comm crackles again. "Understood, Number 1. Prepare for emergency beam-out. Transporter room, lock onto their signals and—" But before Picard can finish, the whispering turns into a deafening roar, like a hurricane of voices shrieking in unison. The bridge is plunged into darkness, and the away team is thrown off balance as the floor seems to tilt beneath them. "Hold on!" Riker shouts as the team clings to consoles and each other. The mist thickens, and the shadows around them begin to coalesce into a humanoid shape, shifting and pulsating with dark energy. Worf aims his phaser at the entity, but before he can fire, the creature speaks, not in words but in a chorus of voices, some pleading, others taunting. "You will stay." Data's console blinks one last time. "Commander," he says urgently, "the transporter lock is failing. The entity is interfering with the beam-out." "What will you do next?" "Fire on the entity with phasers in an attempt to disrupt its interference with the transporter signal. Initiate a manual shutdown of all systems on the bridge, hoping to reset the interference and allow the Enterprise to beam them out. Attempt to communicate with the entity, using the ship's universal translator to see if it can understand or be reasoned with. Use the emergency transporter booster packs carried by the away team to try and force a direct beam-out despite the interference. Choose carefully. The presence on the Ravenwood is not just a manifestation. It has its own desires, and it may not let them leave so easily.